Hello and welcome, everyone. Nothing like being 45 minutes late to this week's Tea and Sympathy Tuesday with Gillian-Baker. I'm so sorry. I don't know. There was some kind of glitch on Facebook. It decided to hate me right when I was ready to go live. And I tried and tried and tried to figure it out. I tried different browsers. But ultimately, I don't know if they were doing something. I don't know. But anyway, all of a sudden it was going to let me post something. So here I am. That's all that matters. Letting it go and moving on. So welcome, welcome. Today I'm drinking iced tea with lemon and mint fresh from my garden. And today we are talking about poison. And I don't think I realized how frequently I used poison until I sat down and started like writing it out. And I'm like, wow, I have used poison in every single book so far. And I guess I've heard that poison is like a woman's murder method, that they tend to use poisoning more than men do. Um, I don't know, maybe that's part of it, but there's something just so sneaky about it. I think that that's one reason why I really like it. And if my family watches this, they're going to be saying, "Oh gosh, I think we need to start picking through our food and making her taste everything first." No, no, they have nothing to worry about. Trust me. But when I was looking for a poison for this particular book, Libel to Kill, one of the resources that I used was this, Deadly Doses, A Writer's Guide to Poisons. And I have several of these types of books, and just toxicity, effects and the symptoms, reaction time, all of those are really important things to the author who is trying to poison one of the characters in his or her book. So I started out with the idea, how am I going to kill this person? So I knew who I was going to kill when I first started coming up with the concept for Libel to Kill. I knew who I was going to kill off. And one night, my husband and I were watching TV, and we almost always, as you know, if you followed me for a while, you know that we almost always watch British TV. We love British murder mysteries, even detective shows and that sort of thing too, but specifically like Midsummer Murders. Oh my God, we love it. We've watched them over and over and over again. So those are the kinds of things that we watch. So one evening, we were watching something, I don't remember what it was, and he turned to me and he said, "I've got a great idea for how to kill somebody for you." And he told me that it would be brilliant to somehow put the poison into an EpiPen, so that the person who was maybe stung by a bee, or someone who had some kind of an allergy, a food allergy or something, they carry those EpiPens in case they inadvertently get stung or eat something that they shouldn't have, and they can immediately, make sure that they don't die, from it. So I'm like, oh wow, I love that idea. Love that idea. Of course, my mind started going. There are several different things I could think of, ways to make sure that the murderer needed to, or the victim, either one, needed to give the victim a shot with his EpiPen. And so I started thinking about that. So when I went to research it, though, I was really disappointed, because there just really seemed like no way for someone to easily get into an EpiPen, which is a good thing. Don't get me wrong. Hey, Felicity, let's talk about Poison Girl. It's a good thing that you can't easily get into an EpiPen. to poison it. Don't get me wrong. I've never needed one, but I know people who do, and I don't want it to be a way that they could get murdered. But I was really disappointed because it was just going to be pretty much impossible unless the person worked in a lab or, you know, had really expert experience with that sort of a thing. And Felicity's saying hello. She's in Rome. And I was just really disappointed. So I'm like, okay, so what else along those lines could I do? So one of the first things another thing that came right to my mind was, and you've probably seen something on TV or read something or even thought about the idea that one great way to kill somebody would be to inject them with insulin, to give them too much insulin, and so that it killed them. And one of the reasons that that's such a great idea is because we have insulin in our bodies already. So if they don't do if they don't do the autopsy right away, it's possible that they might not notice or test for insulin levels in the body, and so the person could easily get away with it. Okay, so that's what I was looking for. I needed something that acted pretty quickly. I needed it to be reliable. That's where my idea for the insulin fell apart. In this case, it wasn't trustworthy enough to know that one dose could do her in. And the murderer, didn't have that information. I mean, she could have Googled it or something, but she probably wasn't that savvy and wouldn't know exactly how much to give the person. And then there's the problem with, if she Googled it, if they were suspicious that maybe she had killed this person, they could always look at her computer and find out what she had been searching for, look in her history. And so those are easy things that any police force, and especially, Ross would definitely know how to do that, right? So it just wasn't trustworthy enough. She needed to die the first time. It wasn't something like she could dose her. The murderer could dose the person or anything like that. So the liable to kill was the hardest. One of the hardest parts for me, and so much research went into figuring out what poison to kill the victim with. And I went from there, I think I went to blowfish. There's the Japanese love to eat blowfish, or Chinese maybe both. And but it's very poisonous if you don't cook it correctly. And they also use it, the Chinese, I believe, use it for some kind of holistic health. They do they use some of the poison to dose, and I can't remember what it's good for. But so, I went into, okay, well, let's look at other natural kinds of things. Let's look at, could we really kill someone with an allergy? So in Murder Over Medium, if you remember, there was an aspect to the story about peanut allergies. Felicity says that she thought it was, I think she thinks it was blowfish that killed her. Is that right, Felicity? You thought it was blowfish, or you thought it was insulin? Tell me which one you thought it was. So I tried some natural stuff. I thought about snakes. I thought about, different. And I'm not going to tell you what I settled on because it'll ruin the whole thing for you. And Felicity thought it was blowfish. We have evil minds, Felicity, I guess. So it was a real challenge, and there were times when I would do a lot of research on it, and I was like, okay, I have to get back to writing. I can't let this stall me. I know that the person's going to die from some kind of a poison, and I can't let it stop me. So then I would, I'd write, and then I would get to a place where it's like, okay, I kind of need to know what the poison's going to be doing. Um, yeah, Felicity and I are friends because we have evil minds. Yeah, and we love to watch all of those British mysteries, Felicity, Luther, and all of those Midsummer Murders. Um, so it was quite a challenge for me to come up with something. And even when I decided on what I really wanted it to be, I had to really play around with how it was going to work and how I was going to, how Jade was going to figure out who done it, specifically because of the type of poison that was used. So, I make it look easy to write mysteries, but it is a real challenge. There's so many different layers and so much research, and you would say, okay, I'm going to kill this person, and this person's going to be the person who kills them, and this is the reason, and this is the method, and it's just not always that simple. Sometimes you have to really search and search your evil mind and get great resources to help you out, and do a lot of creepy research online. That's why mystery authors say that they hope that they're never a suspect in real life for some kind of murder or something, because if they looked at our search history, man, we would be in big trouble, big trouble. So thank you so much for joining me for this week's Tea and Sympathy with Tuesday with Gillian-Baker. And if you want to know more about how I use poison in all 4 of my books, please join me over at Patreon. The link is in the show notes. And I'm heading over there right now to do another live for you guys on all of the different poisons that I've used in my books and how I came up with the ideas for each one of them. So until next week, I will see you later. Bye.